They don't use toilet tissue over here. They use bidets, water hoses attached to the toilet.
Now, this is coming from an American that visited Nigeria, and she's talking about her experience. So now the fact is this: do some people also use tissue in Nigeria? Yes, some people do, but majority of the people started by using their hands with water to clean. So now here's the question: if you're using tissue, you claim to be neater than the people using their hands. Now let me ask you a simple question. Don't you ever wash your backside? You need to wash that thing, okay? When you get into the shower, don't you wash it? So are you going to tell me that that's different? What makes it different? You still did, okay? And the question is this: if you ask me, which one washes better? The water washes better than the tissue. So whether you like it or not, that is what washes better. I remember there was a time I and my wife, we made a video about how Nigerians use the toilet and how Americans use the toilet. Some Nigerians were like, oh no, we use this toilet, we don't use this, we don't use our hands. You guys should learn to calm down. So this is coming from somebody that experienced it. So now, when she said that, I've not heard about the bidet or whatever that thing is called. So I think maybe it's probably a new technology that just came out. Now, look at this one. This one explains it better. So if you look at the top, that's where the water will actually be passing through. So the water is going to be passing through this particular hole while you're sitting down on the toilet. So probably the pressure is going to do the wiping itself. As you can see, this is an image of somebody sitting down, and this is how the water is going to go through. Wow. Now look at this one. This one has two different seats. So probably when you're done using the toilet with this other one, then you can probably just move to this other one to do your business, to do the actual cleaning. Now if you look at this other one, so this seems like it has different water temperature, maybe like hot water, cold water, and maybe you can also adjust the pressure. And if you can see, that is what this one, you can just sit down on the toilet, and while the water just spills out, maybe depending on the pressure is going to determine how well it cleans. But at the end of the day, probably you might end up using your hand. So as you can see from this example here, this one is like, this is a hose attached to the toilet flusher or whatever that thing is called, where you have the water. So you can take that out and use that on your right hand, and probably use your left hand to do your business and wash off. So I don't know what you think about that, but if you ask me, the water does it better than your so-called tissue, right? So according to Americans, the water